standpoint. Listen to the feminine side. The standpoint. Still listen to the feminine side. The standpoint.
Welcome to The Standpoint. Yes, we're still in June and we're celebrating fathers. Last month we celebrated mothers and we talked about the situation where you go through the 9 months pregnancy, you go through the delivery room, your baby comes out, everything seems okay, 2-3 months, sometimes 2 years down the line, then some harsh reality hits you. Your child is a special child. It's a child with a special need. It's not easy for such mothers. And if you read my book, When Strong Women Cry, we do talk about some of the challenges mothers, these special mothers, have to go through every single day. Today, we are about to celebrate 2 fathers who have children with special needs, and they are hands-on dads. Most of the time we hear fathers just don't want to have anything to do with children with special needs. But there are some fathers who are doing amazing work, who are hands-on, making sure they give their best, make all the sacrifices for their children who have special needs. Today is going to be a bit emotional, but you are going to put some respect to their names as fathers. So let me say thank you to Habarata for my tie and dye lace. My dress is by Liran Collections. Thank you so much to her. And my beads, that's my earrings and then bracelet by Twinny Craft, and my anklets by Twinny Craft. Thank you so much to her. My shoes, like sandals with some heels, by Awos Unisex Boutique. They are artisanal and East Legon, near the Shashi area. Very big place. They are running a 10% discount on all their items, especially the items for fathers. So go there, get your father, get that man in your life a special gift and quality gift too. Shoes, bags, belts, polo shirts, and what have you, and you get a beautiful discount. Thank you so much to them. My makeup is by HB Elegance. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then my hair by Ishilo GH. We'll be back.
The standpoint. The standpoint.
Welcome back to The Standpoint. And yes, we are still in the Father's Month, celebrating some amazing fathers. Let me say thank you to Vena Mineral Water. Vena has the balanced pH levels. It has all the required minerals. It's low in sodium, and it's always embarking on one charitable project or the other. They are bent on sharing love and changing lives. And I'll say thank you to National Malaria Control Program. Malaria is treatable. Malaria is manageable, malaria is avoidable, and we can eradicate malaria from Ghana. We are looking at the year before 2030, 2028, we must be able to achieve zero malaria in Ghana. Just make sure your environment is clean. If you are pregnant, make sure you sleep under insecticide, mosquito net with your children. Whoever you are, make sure that when you have malaria, you go to the hospital, you take your medication. Pregnant women, take your SP. Malaria is avoidable, treatable, manageable, and we can eliminate it from Ghana. Now, let me come to my panel, my special fathers, and thank you to Techno for my Common 20. Yes, some people are jealous, but hey, I'm the special one. Okay, so seated right next to me is Mr. Ebenezer Annan, who is a fashion designer. And one of these days, I'll be wearing one of his clothes very soon. Oh, you sew for only men?
For women.
For men, only men.
Women.
For women as well.
Yeah.
Women. Exactly. You for do me show one of these days. And then next to him, I have Mr. Selom Alawe, who's a transport manager.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Standpoint. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
3 kids. Boy, girl, boy.
First is a girl, and then the second a boy, and the third a girl.
A girl.
Yeah.
Hey, you plan well. You know how to plan it. And Selom, what about you?
I have 2 girls.
Okay.
Yeah, the first, all of them are girls. Yeah.
All of them are girls.
Yes. Yeah.
Charlie, you do well. You do well. You do well. Now, which of your children has a special need?
My second born.
Your
The
second
boy.
born. The boy.
The boy, yeah.
Yeah. What's really the condition?
He's 7 years. He can't speak. He has not walked, and then he can't hear well.
Okay.
He hears, but it's a little bit far. So
Okay. What exactly has he been diagnosed with?
the meningitis and then bronchitis.
Meningitis and
Yes,
bronchitis.
they said it's all about the brain, and then the thing affected the brain, and then it depends on the part of the brain that the sickness affected. So that will give us the results in whether what will happen to him. But I think his own, because of that, he can walk, and we are working on it. And then the speech too hasn't come because the hearing is not that clear.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
And
have
he's
to.
7 years.
He's 7 years. He turned 7, 11th.
He's your only
March.
boy.
Yes, the second born.
The second born. When was it diagnosed? When was it noticed that he has a problem?
I think before he turned 1,
Okay.
the crisis started. We started in we having temperature. We rushed him to the hospital, but it became severe, getting to some few days to he turning 1 year.
Okay.
Yes, and we went to where he was referred to 37. Then throughout the night, you have to go through some struggle before. So the next day, we ended up at ICU
Okay.
for 1 week. So from there, he gave him a delay in growth because they said being on the machines, and then that's where they diagnosed that he has meningitis.
Was
and
he
then
also born at 37?
No.
He wasn't born at 37.
Trust Hospital.
Okay. He was born at 37. Now, nothing was detected when your wife was pregnant.
No, the only thing we realized it was the pressure, BP, was up. So I rushed there to the hospital, I think a week, Friday, and then the following Friday, she gave birth.
She gave birth.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as a father, with a girl, the boy is the middle one,
Yeah.
right? If a girl and you got to know you're going to have a boy, and how did you feel when finally you realized that this beautiful baby boy you have it has a special need, has a condition that is going to be a challenge raising this child?
I was worried, actually. I was worried. And
Did you cry?
no.
It's a strong man to
No.
cry. Oh.
Yes, sometimes.
Yeah. So you cry sometimes?
Yes.
And it's normal?
I do. Yes.
Yes, it's
Yes.
normal. And you were what? So what did you do?
I realized we're trying living because my wife works with an organization, but because I'm a fashion designer, so we're living with this person, and it brings us another issue. So finally, I decided to take care of him, so that my wife can go to work.
Okay.
And there, I started feeling the pain because
Okay.
sometimes.
Yeah. Hold on to that, and let me go to Selom and come back to you. Selom, which of your girls has special needs?
A first girl.
Your first girl.
First girl, yes.
What exactly is the condition?
Well, she's been diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
Okay.
That was at Kolebu.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's
How
what.
old is she?
She's 13 now.
She's 13
Yeah,
now.
she just turned 13 on the 14th of May.
Okay, cerebral palsy meaning she can talk?
No, she can't talk. It has also that to do with the brain. So she can't talk now, though she's beginning to take steps.
Okay.
So, though she can hear us when we speak to her anyway.
But she can't talk, she can't walk.
Yeah.
Can she write?
No, she can't.
She can't
write.
hold
She can't hold stuff,
anything.
yeah.
Okay. How old was she when she was diagnosed?
About 2 years. We realized from birth, she was born at the Smith Hospital, realized that the first few hours, they were expecting certain actions from her, which didn't happen. So were referred to Kolebu. I think they did run some tests. We'll go home, but after a while, realized that she wasn't able to do the things that we expect children of 6 months, 3 months to be able to sit straight in their neck and all that. So we got concerned, because initially she will run temperature, we rush to the hospital. We were not too sure what the problem was until we realized that she delayed in the milestones in development. So tests were run, and we began to see certain signs of delay, not able to hold the neck or sit down herself. So I think the neurologist decided to run the test, and they concluded that it probably be cerebral palsy.
But during pregnancy, nothing was detected?
No, we didn't. I think the day of labor, there were a bit of pain and all that, but it delayed. So at some point, the nurses had to monitor her heartbeat, and I think they said there was a fetal distress. That's what we were told. So a CS has to be done. And the following morning, wasn't that done? And the following morning. So during pregnancy was fine. We didn't have any complications. Yeah.
And then suddenly, your first child.
Yeah.
You were you excited when you got to know your wife was going to have a baby?
We were overjoyed. We were expecting. Yeah, we were excited, because I was 26 then. I got married at 26. My wife was 24. So I think 27, the child was on her way. So we were all excited, young parents, just married, waiting for a child to be born. And the first few weeks, nothing showed anything was happening. So we just carried on as usual till we began to see. So there was excitement there waiting for her to come.
And then reality struck.
Yeah. The reality struck. We were not ready for it at all. I mean, I don't think any parent gets ready for a thing like that.
Absolutely,
so,
I don't think so.
Yeah, because all around what we see, children are born, taken care of, they run around and all that. Then we found ourselves suddenly have to be our next home being hospital, really.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been easy.
Really, sometimes you see some children, but it never occurs to you that it can happen to you. It never runs through your mind that it can happen to you. I mean, it happens to other people, but naturally, you don't think that, no parent is prepared to think about what if it happens to me. No.
No. We were not. That didn't come in at all. We were just waiting for a child to be born, really. We never thought about that.
I'm tempted to ask you but this is about fathers, so we stick to how you, the men, feel. Most of the time when we talk about these challenges, it's always the mothers, we are looking at, but I know fathers also cry, so that's why we are focusing on that.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction when you got diagnosed? Did you go to, some medicine place, or to go and find out what is happening, whether it's spiritual?
Trust me, I cried, I wept, because the kind of challenges we had to go through every week, hospital here, and not knowing what was going on was really tough. So the expectation of having a child and being happy was gone. So what are we getting ourselves into? And along the line, if I may jump there, our society, everybody tends to come to tell, let's check this place and find out what is really going on, I wouldn't deny that. There were. So let's go and see this pastor. Let's go and see this person. Let's find out what is.
It's natural instincts.
Everybody wants to find out what's happening.
Yes.
Because
it's natural.
You just want a relief. You just want to solve a problem. And when you get there, sometimes you may not be even in control of what you are doing.
No.
So we went through challenges like that. We went through that for a while. Then, so that was there. We went through that for a while.
So when did you come to the acceptance that, okay, this is what God has given me. This is the challenge. This is the blessing. This is the angel God has given me. And I'm going to try to work and do my best to see what God will also do about it. At what point did you come to that stage?
I think after she was 4, because it wasn't as if it was getting better. So I said, look, instead of running around, which takes a lot of energy out of you, instead of running around trying to find out what is happening and all that, we're just going to sit and be still and find out what we can do or what God can do with this child. And then because when you get to that realization, you get to that point where you know that, like, I just want to sit down now, and it helps. It gives you the energy to be able to concentrate on the child now and say, what can I do? What best can I do for him? Her? So when we got to that point, I think it was much easier. Though it's not easy, but it was much easier not trying to find solution somewhere that there is nothing. Because everybody will tell you something that is this or that is that. But you need to just settle in your heart that this is it, I'm going to face it head on. And I think it helped a lot in getting us to be able to settle down. And
yeah. Ebenezer, can you identify with some of the things Salam was talking about? Because he was saying, Did you, is there even anything like coming to an acceptance that this is it? Because I believe you never stop trying to find solution.
Yeah, we did, but it got to a point I realized the solution we're getting was rather creating confusion. Because somebody will say the man's mother is this, is this and that, and I realized it was rather bringing misunderstanding in the home. So I decided, no, let me take care of the boy, because she running around with the boy was affecting her job. And then I remember one day they called us a meeting, and I'm not working with her, but I have to also face a panel for them to ask me if we don't do anything about it, then either I should be dismissed or something. So what can I do? Then I asked them, okay, bring her to the branch that is closer to me, so that at least she can, if there's anything, I can call her to come. And then through that, I realized it has helped us. So yes, we tried other means. People say, let's go here, this person is good, is this, is that. But it got to a point I said, I'm tired of those things. So let's believe God, and then let's also do what we can do to help him, because he didn't force us to give birth to him. So we have to find what we can do to help him. Whilst we believe God, let's do the next thing. That is taking him to physio and all those things. And I've never regretted taking care of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Salam, how old is your daughter?
she's 13 now.
13.
Yeah,
And
just
so your son is 7 years. Okay. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll look at how the journey has been since you came to the acceptance and realizations that this is what it is. Let me see what I can do, what to work with, whilst I trust, God with that. Well, you're watching The Standpoint. We are celebrating special fathers with children with special needs. I mean, these stories, we don't tell them often, but some fathers are really, really trying. And I just respect your wife's organization, calling you to a meeting and willing to do the transfer closer. Not many companies do that. They don't even care. Some organizations don't even care. So much respect to them. She still works with them. Yes. She still works with them. Okay. Well, let me say thank you to House of Food, Auntie Vera and the team. Thank you so much. Thank you to Cleaning Services to make sure our environment is clean all the time. Mrs. Soforipoku, today she brought a jollof and chicken. Thank you so much, Mrs. Soforipoku. We are so grateful to you and your family. Thank you to Juice Time, from the farm to the factory to the bottle to the shelves. They do it all, so you know that it's 100% fruit juices. Thank you so much. The only thing, these days they have sizes. They have the small, the medium, and the large, but they keep giving me the small. I'm saying it, they are watching. They should bring me the medium at least. You know that one. Thank you to them. Thank you to Phoenix Decor for the plants in the studio. We are so, so grateful. We take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
Welcome back to The Standpoint. And thank you to Habarata Fabrics for my lace tie and dye. My dress is by Liran Collections. My beads, earrings and anklets by Twinny Crafts. My ring is Ivana Awula, Jamestown Awula. And then, of course, makeup by HB Elegance, and hair by Inshilo. My shoes by Awos Unisex Boutique. They are at Tessano and East Legon, the Shashi Road, and they are running a 10% discount on their products this month, especially for the fathers. shoes, belts, bags, polo shirts, all 10%, and go and have your feast. Today we are celebrating some amazing special fathers. Now let me come back to Salom. How has the journey been so far?
It hasn't been easy. It's been challenging.
So yours has been like 13 years.
Yeah, 13 years, yeah. As I mentioned earlier, I was 28 when she was born. And it's just been hospital, having to get to the place of acceptance, having to be a father and be a husband in situations like this, having to be able to take family pressures, having to take the stigma. Because we were young, we were just looking forward to being married and having children and enjoying our life. Then suddenly, a problem we've never seen before cropped up. So it hasn't been easy.
Yeah, you mentioned stigma.
Yeah.
Are you stigmatized? The sad part sometimes even from the church.
Well, my church was very supportive, I would say. Yeah, that helped us a lot in our journey. My church was very, very supportive. But the thing of waking up and taking your child to the park, taking her to the restaurant, taking her somewhere, and somebody notices there's something wrong. That alone, the look alone, you realize that somebody is just somewhere, looking at you with a different, what is wrong? What is this? And in Africa, people call it a spirit child, give them a lot of names.
Yeah.
And nobody wants their child to be referred to.
No, absolutely.
Or seen in a different way, aside the way you see them. So the stigma has been there. Even the worst part sometimes are even the hospitals. You go to hospital and the nurses who are supposed to know better seems to even pressurize you. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing this? So it's society. It hasn't been easy, I would say. The only comfort for us has been our church, I would say, and our immediate family. That's what I would say, yeah.
Ebenezer?
The journey has not been easy, actually. As he said, the stigma is too bad. Sometimes you take him out and the way people look at you, it makes you feel bad, feel worried. But what has kept me is that the boy always gives me joy. He's my source of strength because sometimes you look at him, the things he does encourages you that he's a fighter.
He's a fighter.
He's a fighter. That is what I would say.
You talk there, but let me stress the issue of stigma. Stigma from where? Society?
Yeah, society. And sometimes even from the church. Because I remember when my boy was trying to talk, kids start making that babbling sound. And sometimes you be in a meeting and maybe the pastor is talking and you making those sounds. And the way people will turn and look at you as if they've not even given birth before. And sometimes it's discouraging.
But
I remember
for you as a father, the parent, it's exciting because you know that at least he's trying to make some noise, you know. So it's a milestone for you. It should be exciting for you.
Yes. So you got to a point, I remember I was in a group, so you got to a point when I get to meeting, I have to wait for my wife to come and then maybe get a place for them to stay with the other kids. Then I can be in the meeting because sometimes I don't like the way they will turn and look at you. But this boy keeps doing his own thing. He's in his own world and he doesn't mind who is there. So I realized I have to also help him so that whatever he wants to do, you give him the chance so that you won't shut him down because people will say this and that. And it really helped me.
Okay. So what's your daily life like?
Sometimes I have to take care of him because mommy has to go to work and combining taking care of him because for now you have to change him, feed him, but thank God he can eat himself now. Whatever you give him now, he can eat first. He has to only depend on liquid, a little particle he will throw out. But now if he eats everything and he's doing well. So sometimes combining that with work becomes very difficult.
Is he in school?
No, not yet. We are now
finding a place.
I
think that's another challenge, isn't it? Getting a school that will help take care of children with special needs. I think apart from, we have the autism center and then I mean, I think people with autism and then Downing syndrome, they have special schools, but I don't think there's a special school with children with meningitis, you know.
His own, they said he gave him a delay after all those
The
meningitis
delay,
and those
so
things,
that-
gave him a delay. So there are certain things by now he should be doing. He's not doing them, which we are working on it.
But you've seen improvement.
There is improvement.
Okay.
That is what gives me my joy. Because if you are sacrificing for something and you don't see anything coming out of it,
you know,
you will end up giving up. There are sometimes I feel like giving up, but
I was going to ask you, was there a point where you felt like, enough, I can't do this anymore?
Yes, sometimes I feel that way, but I still continue to do it for him because, as I told you, he gives me my source of strength. Because sometimes you feel like giving up because you've been through a very difficult day with him, and sometimes you can't even do anything for yourself. If you want to go out, you have to go with him, and there are places it's difficult to go with him because the way they will look at you. So I remember one time I was telling my brother when we were discussing something like that. One time I have to do a delivery at University of Ghana, and I decided I didn't want to take him to the office, so I left him in the car. By then he was asleep, and when I got up, the one I was going to look for is having a lecture, so I have to wait. Then I realized the dean came and saw him, and she was screaming, "Who has left the child in the car?" And then blah blah. So virtually what I was trying to prevent, I have to carry him and take him to the place. And that day in the evening when I got home, I wept that evening. I asked God why.
Yeah. Salom, what has your journey been like? I mean, your daily life.
Yeah, I was lucky to be. Initially, I was sort of self-employed. I was trading in cars, so it made it a bit easier for me to be able to adjust my time to be with her. So my wife, who teaches, the government sector, they hardly give you any time to sort these things out. So I had to basically make her my assistant. So I pick her, put her in the car with her food, diaper, everything, and we go out. We go to do all the business that we need to do, and come back. Along the line, my mom has been a great source of support as well. Yeah. So if my mom is available, she'll take care of her. But for me, as a father, I take her along if I'm going to work. And for us, I think one of the difficulties was trying to find a place that will help her. It was really hard to get a good place that they know that they can help her in whatever situation. Because the hospitals won't give you much. Not many facilities were there. So our journey has been tough. I think I was physically very well when she was born. I think 2016 I got ill as well. It was because of stress. It was stress related. I got really, really ill. So I had to, my wife now has to take care of me and the child and all that.
Oh boy.
It's now that I'm recovering, and so, but our journey hasn't been easy. The journey has been, but there are exciting times.
It's not that you are recovering.
Yes.
That means you became very sick.
Yeah, I was in a wheelchair for about 8 months.
Whoa.
Yeah, I couldn't walk, couldn't
Was it stroke?
No, it wasn't stroke. Probably they later diagnosed an autoimmune condition, which I probably felt
stress.
Stress related.
Yes, stress related. Yes, autoimmune.
It was very, very stressful. So, and during that time, it hurt because I couldn't do anything for her. I couldn't, because as he said, they didn't ask us to bring them into the world, and I felt responsible for her, and I knew that at that point, I can't just fail her. I can't fail her. So during that point, I wept a lot. And the second one also needed a father. I said, look, guys, I can't leave you like this and go because I was scared.
Yeah.
But it's been, that was kind of journey that we had to go through, taking care of her. So the journey is always not smooth. It's hard.
Whew, I can imagine. Yes, you were saying something, yeah.
What gives me joy is the fact I love her. Because this is your flesh and blood. I love her. No matter what, I play with her. I'm excited to take her anywhere I'm going because this is me really, and I don't really mind what people say. And because I can see in her face when I appear, the joy in her face, the joy in her heart to play with me and all that. And I knew, I mean, that satisfies me.
Yeah.
Gives me a sense of joy to know that, I mean, this is my child, no matter what is
And
mine.
it's important to them when they feel accepted.
Yeah.
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 You can tell from their look and their behavior when they know that they are accepted here.
Yeah. And I think the home environment counts, especially at home when they know, as you said, if they know they're accepted and loved, they thrive a lot. And my example, when I get home, she's bubbling, she's happy to get up and come and play with you, come and trying to tell you something, you know, that alone gives me...
What's her name?
Ejani.
Ejani.
Ejani in Ebe means beautiful.
Oh.
And she is very, very beautiful. Beautiful girl.
Yeah.
So that alone gives me joy and satisfaction. Yeah. So, yeah.
Ebenezer, what's your son's name? Emmanuel. Ah, God is with us. Yeah, Emmanuel. Ebenezer, thus far the Lord has brought us. Emmanuel.
Yeah.
God is with us, indeed. Let me take another break. When we come back, I want you to share some of your most memorable moments with them. Yeah, I see the smiles on your faces already. You're watching the Stanford again. I say thank you to Venom Mineral Water. Venom Mineral Water has all the, correct minerals and balanced pH levels, and it's low in sodium. And they also embark on charitable organization, changing lives and sharing love wherever you go. So when you buy Venom, when you drink Venom Mineral Water, not only are you drinking good quality water, but you're also helping to share love and changing lives. We'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
Oh, welcome back to the Standpoint. Yes, we're celebrating two special fathers, Selim and Ebenezer, with special children. Ejani, beautiful one, 13-year-old Ejani. Emmanuel is 7 years, and they are special children with special needs. We say thank you to Juice Time, Mrs. Oforipoko and the family, House of Food. Thank you so much. Thank you to Yep Cleaning Services. They take care of our environment. Venus Decor and all those who support us. Thank you so much to all of you. Because of you, we are still on air. And next month, July 11, the Standpoint will be 15 years. Can you imagine? 15 years! Hooray! And we are going to have a homecoming for all those who've been on the Standpoint from 2008 till date, and we'll have to catch up, have to reminisce and see how the Standpoint has impacted our lives both positively and negatively. We'll see and have a candid talk on that. So we'll give you more details on that later. But what are some of the memorable moments you remember with Emmanuel?
Emmanuel is such an interesting boy, and I remember just quite recently. One thing about him, when he sees anybody, he'll wave you and blow you a kiss.
Oh.
No matter who he meets on the way, in the car, wherever he sees you, he waves you and then he blow you a kiss. And he has some balls he plays with, and what he does is when he's playing, he pushes all the balls in under the bed. Then when he see you coming, he starts calling your attention that the ball is under the bed. When you pick a stick, now he tries to pick the stick himself to take the ball out. Even though he can, he will do something, and then you look at him and it's interesting. When you are feeding him, he will tell you, I want to eat myself. He will try to collect the spoon from you. Sometimes some will go, some will fall down, but when you look at him doing those things, in fact, it's encouraging.
He's a fighter.
Yes.
He's determined to do something for himself.
He will alert you that he has solved himself by giving you a signal. One time I entered the room, I realized he was crying. Then I'm like, why is this boy crying? So I wasn't minding him. When I entered, he was trying to change himself. He has solved himself and he was trying to do it himself. So I was just And he has done it to a point. He realized if he continue, he will solve himself. So he was just lying down waiting for me to come. And when I entered, I looked at him. I just looked at him and I laughed. And I have to continue where he has gotten to. And it's interesting. It's interesting.
They know, huh? They know. They really know. And sometimes people think that children with special needs, because they can't talk and because they don't seem to understand, things the way quote unquote so-called normal people do, and so they don't understand, they don't take notice of the environment. But I think they know.
They know.
They
Yes,
know
they
everything.
know.
They know when they feel they are being a burden on you,
Yes.
when they feel they are pushing you too much, and when they really feel loved.
Yeah.
Salom, what are some of the memorable moments with you?
Well, quite a number of them. When we settled in our heart that this is it. I think a point where I got back from work and I saw her sitting by herself. I was like, oh, one milestone has been, achieved. Because she normally had to be carried and all that. But when I saw her sitting, I was overjoyed. I remember her. Now when I get home, she's probably the first person to know that I'm home. She will go to the window trying to hit it for me to know that she has seen that I've come home. And the way she gives you a hug is, she just stands and gives you a hug and squeezes you. She probably feels she's playing, but those moments gives me a lot of joy. And when she loves music, and you play her favorite music, or she likes certain tunes, so we've sort of figured out what they are. So when we play it and she screams and happy. She's always a very happy girl. She's always smiling, laughing. And when I see her like that, it's as if she hasn't got any problem. You are the one worrying.
Oh, you are the one worrying.
So when I see that smile, she's always smiling, always laughing, always free going. So when I see that, as much as the day has been stressful, you get home and you see her like that, I feel joyful.
But I believe she's been a blessing too. Things that have come your way, people you've met, places that if it hadn't been for her, you wouldn't have.
I'll probably not be here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably not be sitting on the standpoint. Exactly.
Yeah, she's been a blessing. The fact that she's challenged my faith alone points to the fact that I would have been just easygoing and not have anything to maybe go on your knees and cry about. But this points me to a direction where you say, unless God comes in, nothing is happening. So that is a reminder for me to know that I need to get closer to God. And she's led us to places. I remember one time taking her to a restaurant, and when they sit down, they just scatter everything that is on the table. But the way we went about it, I saw parents who children do something, they hit them and all that. But I said, no, it's not her fault. So the way I carried her, somebody was looking at her for a long time. And at the end of the day, he came to me and said, you have encouraged me because I have the same situation at home and I don't know how to deal with it. So that alone, to see that my action of bringing her out and not just lock her somewhere has encouraged somebody, that alone was some satisfaction in my heart.
Oh, that's beautiful. What about you?
We went to church. I took, first when we go to church, I take him to the elder section, and then one day I decided to send him to the Sunday school. But before then, we went to church, and then he was sitting beside the usher decks, and they started the praise and worship. Then he started nodding. Then he was dancing. In fact, I was so happy. We took him to the Sunday school, and the elder sister told me after class, she told me, Daddy, they were giving all of us numbers, and they left him out. Then the teacher asked, who does not have a number? Then, funny enough, he raised his hand. So they were all quiet. Then the teacher said, it's true, you don't have a number. Then you are number 3. Then he brought the hand down. Then after church, the excitement alone was different. In every Sunday after church, he would be so happy. Comparing it to when I was taking him to the main church. Sunday school. The day he will go to Sunday school, that day when we get home, it's different.
Favorite children. Now, you
Different.
had a child after him.
Yes.
Were you worried?
I was very worried. When the child came, we were very worried. But the Lord told me when I was very worried. So I was praying, and then I felt, no, this girl is going to help him. It's not a mistake. And funny enough, I realized it was true. Because sometimes the big girl, because she knows he is not feeling well, so she will, like, she's worried for him. But as for the third one, feels this is my elder brother, why is he on the floor? You come and pull him, you pick his something, fight with him, open the door for him to crawl and get out, whilst you don't want him to come out. And I mean, she was helping him in different ways.
How old is he?
She is 4. She'll be 4. Okay. Yeah, she'll be 4. And in fact,
protective of him, eh?
Yes. Yeah. So later I realized it's a blessing in disguise.
Yes. So what about you? When the second one was coming?
Well, we didn't want a second one because the first experience wasn't good. So we didn't want a second one. And we had to go through a lot of battle to make a decision. Okay, well, let's give it a go. So the second one came, Imela. She's called Imela. And then
Imela.
Yeah.
Imela. Yeah. Can you sing?
Yes, I can sing.
Imela.
Imela. Okaka. Forgotten the other words.
But is the name the same as the Imela song?
Yes,
Imela.
that was. We gave her that name before she was born. Actually, we had to say thank you to God. But we were scared. We didn't know what was coming. We prayed that, look, God, we can't carry a second burden. And she was born fine, and we thank God for that. She's 8
But I
years
can even imagine what people would say.
Yeah.
You know, when your wife was knowing your situation with the first child, and then, you know, they see that your wife is pregnant again. And
so there's a 5-year gap between them. So, funny enough, we had help from people close by. So look, you have a second one. Yeah. It may help the elder one to be able to do some of the things. So, yeah, we went ahead and asked God for.
And he says she's 8 years?
She's 8 years now. My wife has to be very strong to bear the pregnancy. Always we're worried what is going to happen. So a little thing, let's go and check what is happening.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what she went through?
One thing that comforted her was for God's word. The Father, it will not be the same as the first. Sometimes these words come and it just calms you down.
Yes.
We just have to take God's report as it comes. So we trusted God. But when she was born, funny enough, I was like, doctor, can you check for this? Can you check for that?
I can imagine. The least thing you are monitoring like a hawk.
So I got the milestone book, what she should be doing at 3 months, what she should be doing, because we wanted to be just sure that it all turned out well, and she's doing fine. Yeah.
How would you sum up your story?
Oh, a roller coaster. It's a kind of journey I wish people don't need to go through. Because if you don't have a certain heart, you may not be able to bear the thought of knowing that this is it and not knowing what tomorrow holds. Yeah. That is one of my greatest fear. My story has been that of, I don't even know what word to use for it. Because it hasn't stopped. You are growing.
You're growing. You're still living with it.
So you're still living with her. So it's been a challenging story. Young couple, just married, want things to go a certain way and doesn't go. So.
Did it affect your marriage in a way?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think we had such a great help from the church.
Okay.
Our
Right
pastor
from the
is,
beginning.
well, yeah, right from the beginning. Pastor is good in excellent in marriage counseling, and we had to go through all these things to know that. I think what helped us was that, look, it is not our fault. It is not the child's fault. This is what God has given us.
But at a point, you were blaming yourselves. In the beginning.
In the beginning, yes, you were like, what
Yeah.
did I do?
Yeah.
What did this one do? What is? But the scripture comes back to help you. It's not what the father has done. It's not what the mother has done.
Yeah.
So we had to fall back on the scriptures, because that is what we are. If we don't go there, there is no other help anywhere. So when we fell in that scripture, we realized that we just have to take it as the scripture says. So when we took it like that, it helped us to be able to. But at no point did I blame my wife. At no point did she blame me. At no point did we blame anybody for that. We just, if we got to a point where we realized that this is it, we have to take it as it is. So, yeah, it hasn't affected our marriage in any way. We've been married we'll be 15 years in August.
Okay.
And it's been good.
We bless God for that. Ebenezer, as for you, because you had a first one who was fine, second one, but the third one, were you worried, or the one you were cool because you know that you've had one that was okay?
We're worried. I was worried. But what I told myself is that affliction will not happen the second time. So that was my scripture. And I told my wife, whatever went wrong that we had this, we don't have to experience it, because affliction shouldn't happen the second time. So that was my prayer, that this one will be fine.
What's your greatest fear?
It's like you don't know what will happen next. Sometimes I get worried because, like my first girl, get worried about the boy. One morning she woke up, she was crying. I asked her what's wrong with her. She said she doesn't like the way when she's going to school, Imam wouldn't allow her to go to school. And Imam wants to go to school. So when would Imam go to school? And sometimes I get worried. So where is he going to start schooling? When he starts school, where is he going to start from? But I sometimes encourage myself that God knows the best. And I know one day we'll look back and then
give glory.
Give glory to God. Yeah.
That situation, he's the only one who can understand.
Yeah.
It's only God who can understand well. We just want to say congratulations for how far, because the story is not like this most of the time, especially when there's a special child in the family. Sometimes when you hear the story and the father is nowhere to be found, the father has left, blame the mother because she carried the pregnancy, or the mother-in-law who is a witch, and all sorts of things. But you are hands-on dads, and you have really taken on this. So we say congratulations. We thank God for your lives. We are hoping and praying for the best in every sense of the word. May God use these special kids to open doors for you that you can only dream of. And may He give you all a testimony. Miracle is not only when suddenly the child is okay and is walking and is talking. No, miracle is going through the day, every single, seeing little improvement. And that child giving you joy and, striving and thriving and being alive. That's where lies the miracle, because not everybody gets it like that. So we say God bless you. We have this token this is from my people, Geisha. Strong soap for long-lasting care. You are strong men, and you need strong soap and for long-lasting care for your children as well. So this is it. Let's Geisha is from or last time. May your joy last time.
Thank you. Amen.
And this is for you. Yeah, can you please pass it on to
Thank you very much.
Salam to. And then we also have these from my people, Twinny Crafts, some beads for you, and then for Salom as well. And then we have drink and water from Trillium Ghana. That's Vena mineral water and Bigo drinks. We say Happy Father's Day in advance, and may you continue to be those great fathers, example for what fatherhood is supposed to be. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We are so grateful.
You're welcome. I'll be back with a bit of me. You know, one of the things I've come to accept, though difficult, is that there are things that no matter how hard we try, will still happen to us because we have no control over them. No matter how good we are, no matter how much we pray, no matter how, much we invest, no matter how much we we try everything, because they are mysteries of life. And we can't avoid them. No matter what, they will come our way. Unfortunately, we don't wish it on ourselves. Yes, we see it happen to other people, but no, we never think that it can happen to us. Not because we think we are too righteous, but somehow our faith, our belief in God, we never expect it to happen to us, but it does. Sometimes it does. And how we react to it, how we handle it, is what matters most. We have to come to a place, and I hope you've read my book, When Strong Women Cry. I'm even getting emotional now, but no matter how hard we try, it will happen to us. And we have to try and master the act of turning our adversity into an advantage for the greater good, not just for ourselves. Because sometimes we need to go through this for God to teach us something, for God to use us to be a source of inspiration, to be a vessel of hope to other people. That is what it is. It doesn't sound fair, but that's God's way. And out of that, you'll be amazed the testimony you have, the great things that you'll be able to birth if you are able to hold your own when these disasters, these challenges, these painful things happen to you. If you are able to hold your own, if you are able to hold on to your trust in God, if you are able to stay true to the cause and be in a place of peace and willingness to fight on. Look at what my book, When Strong Women Cry, is doing. The testimony but that book was born out of a place of pain, a very difficult place. I nearly didn't release it. But I thank God for wisdom. I thank God for grace. I thank God for favor. It happens. Life happens. It's not because of what you've done. It's not because of what you haven't done. But life sometimes happens. I pray that God gives all of us the strength, the ability, the energy, the strength, the power to be able to hold on and to move ahead. And to the fathers out there who stand the test of time and stand by your families and your children in times of adversity, I say, I salute. Much respect. And yes, maybe one day I'll write a book for you. I remain a woman with super crazy faith in God. I know God has got us covered, but He has also given us wisdom. May He help us to always use the wisdom the right way. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.